So about 5 years ago I first started revisiting Pokemon, albeit in character and with a stupid flimsy joke premise. But little did I know at the time that a few years later I would witness the brief rebirth of the phenomenon from my childhood and watch on kinda bemused as even people's parents started playing Pokemon Go. Like, not even in the capacity of experiencing a warm and fuzzy feeling of nostalgia for when they were 10 years old like I was. So I recently sat and watched a bunch of old episodes of the TV show trying to understand this rebirth, and then I just ended up trying to understand its actual birth in the first place. Because it's a really weird bit of intellectual property. Like, even in the capacity of ostensibly being a cheap and shitty toy commercial. I mean, I can't speak for the Japanese version of Pokemon. A lot of what made it appealing to Japanese kids in the first place would quite obviously get lost in translation. The humour in particular, jokes are one of many things that have a hard time crossing cultural boundaries and language barriers. Jokes have been made over the years at the expense of Pokemon's supposed inexplicability, which has often been attributed to its premise as opposed to its appeal, cause really, it's pretty self-explanatory. The show at least does present itself and its premise pretty well. I mean, I can't say if I'd have a clue what the hell it was going on about if I didn't have the context of being a fan to begin with, but just, kids catch these weird monsters in balls and they make them battle each other. Seriously, it's not that hard to understand. But when it comes to the appeal of Pokemon though, and I'm mainly talking about the cartoon here, some of the plots are pretty nice little fables with interesting morals. There was that one where Ash lets his Butterfree go when it finds a mate. That one's all about acceptance and moving on, which is quite nice. While nothing new, amazing, or, life-affirming, credit where it's due. Some of the people behind it were clearly putting a lot of effort into it. And some of the designs of the Pokemon are pretty creative too, like this one, then this one, then this one. Anyway, it is really weird looking back on Pokemon, because when we were kids watching this show, everything that was happening seemed like it was so much more important than it actually was, and the context of it has totally changed. As a kid, we aspired to be someone like Ash. He's 10 years old, he could be any of us. He wants to be a Pokemon master. He's going out into the world and raising his Pokemon. It's what you imagine growing up would be like, but watching it now, I realise Ash is pretty much the shittest Pokemon trainer ever. Like, he's fucking dreadful at this. Seriously, he sticks with the most obvious starter Pokemon, Bulbasaur and Squirtle, for ages, and when they get to the point where it looks like they're going to evolve, they don't want to, and he's okay with that, fine, they don't have to evolve if they don't want to. Which, is fine, whatever, but like, he tries to take on a fucking Mewtwo with his Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and obviously gets his arse handed to him. I mean, yeah, the whole point of the series is caring about your Pokemon is the best way to be a Pokemon trainer. But is it though? Really? Ash only has like 15 different Pokemon by the end of the first series. Back in the day, I had a complete Pokedex on my copy of Crystal. Who's the fucking Pokemon master now, Ash? To me, it just looks like loving your Pokemon isn't really getting you anywhere. Pokemon's ultimate message appears to be that nice guys finish last and being mean to your Pokemon gets results. Okay, one episode of the show I found strangely compelling. There was this one about the shape-shifting Pokemon Ditto that can't change into other Pokemon right. It always gets the faces wrong. And the Ditto is then kidnapped by Team Rocket and threatened with violence until it learns how to do faces. So the moral of the story is that torture is effective? And the kid whose Ditto they stole thanks Team Rocket for teaching Ditto how to transform right. Like, this is a bit creepy, isn't it? On the surface, Pokemon's message may appear to be love your Pokemon, care for them, be nice to them and love and shit, but the show undermines its own message all the bloody time, and it can't just all be an accident or a coincidence, can it? Like, looking at this now as an adult with some life experience and understanding that successful people are more often than not ruthless and abusive bastards, this is a really sinister and subversive message, isn't it? Be a mean bastard and you'll succeed. Like, it's not even that deeply embedded into it. I mean, yes, Team Rocket are ostensibly the bad guys, but they're made much more sympathetic over the course of the series. Way more so than Ash, Misty and Brock. They actually get some pretty decent stabs at character development, and they sort of emerge as the underdogs for us to root for. Meowth lost his place on his boss's lap when he was replaced, and now he's bitter, angry and seeking vengeance. James was the spoilt rich kid who ran away from home because he liked wanting to keep it real, yeah? Jessie struggled through a poor working class upbringing and fought very hard to get herself a high ranking position in Team Rocket. Like, these are some actual character arcs that most adults could probably relate to. Whereas with our good guys, Ash, he's some stupid kid who likes Pokemon. Brock is some guy who likes Pokemon. Misty, well, there was that one episode where she sort of got a bit of backstory, but not much. So, in conclusion, Giovanni has the right idea? I mean, he pretty much was a Pokemon master. He has all these Pokemon, and he caught Mewtwo. Seriously, this can't just be me saying this, can it? Loving your Pokemon doesn't seem to get our hero anywhere. Being a ruthless bastard does. I mean, yes, Pokemon's had its fair share of fucked up moments over the years, but this shit runs deeper than that. I mean, yeah, there was that one instance where an episode accidentally gave hundreds of people seizures. Seriously, look this shit up. An episode of Pokemon was outright banned because it hurt people who watched it. But, okay, again, this could just be my warped reinterpretation of it with some added context of being a grown-up, but these lightly sprinkled messages I'm seeing in there are almost more disturbing than all of the creepy Pokemon-related shit that you can find on the internet. That rumour that the music in Lavender Town caused people to commit suicide, the theory that there's been some kind of global war in this world and that's why 10-year-olds are wandering the land sicking wild animals on each other, the serious accidents that people have had as a result of playing Pokemon Go. This subversive message, it's in there. Maybe it is me making shit up, but just maybe South Park got it right. Maybe there really is a horrifying fascistic message buried just beneath the surface of this seemingly cute and innocent-looking cartoon. Sorry, I've been in the house all day and I'm going a bit mad. I think I need a bit of fresh air, to clear my head. See you in a while. Yeah.